Hello, everyone. My name is Katrina Gomez. I am the Program and Events Coordinator for the International Art Museum of America. I want to thank you so much for tuning into this very special virtual artist talk with renowned artist Anita Wong. Now, I have had the immense pleasure of working with Anita on a couple of different occasions. I can truly say that she is a real visionary when it comes to not only her work, but also her influence and her work as an educator and lecturer. I'm truly honored to have her. Now, this presentation is kicking off our I'm Artist virtual artist talk series. This will be a virtual series that will highlight an artist every month, not only from our local Bay Area, which it will focus on, but from around the world. So be on the lookout to meet new and up and coming as well as well-established artists through this monthly series. All right, now without further ado, let's get started. It is my pleasure to introduce Anita Wong.
Thank you so much for having me here today. So before I start, I want to give a quick thanks to International Art Museum of America. And Katrina, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. My name is Anita Wong. I'm an Asian American artist. So today I want to show you my work and some of the projects that I've been working on recently. Since there's a lot to talk about, let's get started. In today's presentation, I'd like to share with you my current project, some of the work I did in the past 3 years, and also some of the articles that was featured on magazines. This is a cat I did 2 years ago, as featured on Yale University's China Hands magazine. The title of the article is Traditional Art Form That Questions the Modern Minds. It kind of leads us into the question, what kind of work do I do as an artist? I am an Asian American woman artist. I create contemporary traditional paintings. I'm also a 4th generation Lingnan painter. So if you don't know about Lingnan art, it is an art form in the late 19th century, known for the fusion of mastering modern Chinese, Japanese, and Western painting approach. Besides art creation, I also was teaching as an art professor for over 15 years. The current school that I taught at was UC Berkeley Extension in San Francisco. I also taught in New York at School of Visual Art, Maryland Institute College of Art, Tyler School of Arts, Temple University, and the Art Institute. So my work is featured on over 60 traditional and hip culture art magazines, including New York Arts, ESPN, Disney, Daily Arts, Flower Magazine, and such. If you want to take a look at my work, you can probably Google my name and read some of these really interesting articles. This is one article featured the past year on Daily Arts magazine. I'll just go ahead and read you my artist statement. My current works has been dealing with the roles of contemporary traditional art form and brushworks, in particular pushing the boundaries of traditional Lingnan style Chinese painting to the next level in the digital informational art age. My current painting is Ink Kittens. It explores painting as making calligraphy, complete without sketch nor eraser. I see B as my handwriting and expression highly individual. Freehand brushwork and happy little accidents I create with ink and brush identify me. They serve as a medium for me to convey my emotions and meanings of the subject. Pure ink and movement shown in my paintings differ my current style from the usually colorful Lingnan style. On the right is me painting a cat on Flower magazine. So today's presentation is divided into 3 sections: ink, color ink, and non-ink. So let's get into the first section, ink. I would like to share with you my painting series, Hunt, Be Water, AR Ink, and Ink Kittens. This is a solo art show I did at Canessa Gallery, San Francisco, California. The presence of color is no greater than the absence of it. This is one of my favorite paintings under Abstract Ink Painting series, titled Hunt. The idea behind this tiger painting is, who is the real hunter? A wide-eyed tiger in these ink paintings are hunting, but at the same time being hunted. Both life and death are happening in a very brief moment in time, captured in the painting. This is a close-up of the same painting, Hunter, done in 2018. Power is not found in the animals' body parts, but in their spirit. Another painting in the same show, titled Hunter and Horse. On the right, I titled this painting as Landscape. In traditional Chinese painting, when you see a tiger, it's often standing in the woods or on a mountain. In this painting titled Landscape, I actually blended the landscape itself onto the tiger. So the tiger is the landscape, and the landscape is the tiger. This is another piece of work I did last year with ESPN Disney. So last year, there was a movie being made for 30 by 30 Bruce Lee. So Disney, ESPN asked me to create a movie poster. So here's the story behind the movie poster. Because I share Bruce Lee's background growing up in Hong Kong and living in the United States, I often wonder what Bruce Lee would be like if he had been a painter. I imagine he'd be a master. As an artist, the most difficult thing to achieve is to be free but staying in control. That's what Bruce Lee reflected in his movement, very dynamic. I also tried this in my painting. When I paint his portrait, I think of the dynamic movement. And also the Lingnan movement is originated in southern China near where Bruce grew up. So I wanted this poster to look like a Chinese painting, so I included a little red stamp at the bottom, as you can see here. Here are some of the Bruce Lee paintings I did for ESPN. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless like water. Now you put water in a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Bruce Lee. So let's go ahead and jump into another project. This is called AR Brushed Ink. This is a show I had about 2 or 3 years ago. It's the first augmented reality interactive ink exhibition at Augmented World Expo in Santa Clara. So this is a TV interview I did with KTSF Channel 26. Here's the painting itself. So you can see the viewers are able to interact with the painting, and the ink are flying out and flying into the painting. Here you can scan the QR code to activate the painting. The next project I want to share with you is my current work, Ink Kittens. It's all actually based on my cat, Pandora. So the painting on the right is already in the permanent collection at UC Berkeley here in California. The smallest feline is a masterpiece, Leonardo da Vinci. I very much agree with this. So what do I see in cats and how cats are represented in my paintings? A good painting of a cat is like the cat itself. It's free, but retaining control at all times. Here's a painting I did this year. Another one rather abstract. Here's the finished painting itself. There's nothing more meditating than doing freehand ink painting. You are really in the moment and you're allowing yourself to really create this cat that belongs to only you. So let's go ahead and jump into the next section, color ink. This is a kingfisher bird I did, jumping into the water and leaping out from the water. Another finch bird I did. Here are some of the new work I did on wood. The subject itself is swordfish instead of the more traditional goldfish and koi fish in traditional Chinese painting. Two more canvas work I did a couple years ago. Lady in the white dress and another bird leaping out from the water catching a fish on the way out. As you can see, my style is very much inspired by the Impressionist, capturing the moment and light in the moment. Here's an art show that I did with Desta Gallery, California. This is another more colorful work that I did of a tiger coming out from the frame, titled Escape. I love painting tiger. This piece of work is actually an eye test inspired by Andy Warhol, titled Tiger Skin. So I want the work to not only be pleasing the eye, but to question the modern mind. It almost feels like the traditional art form is asking you a question. What do you see in me? Another piece in the same painting series, giving you another eye test of a rather smart, intelligent bird, a crow. Another piece titled Conversation. Round and round. So as you can see, I really like the mirror effect. Still water as nature's own mirror. Mirrored nature is very powerful, majestic, and surreal. As an artist, I want to make use of this and use this power of mirror in my art. I like mirrored effect for many reasons, perhaps as nature. This is my current work, pouring out a cup of coffee onto a piece of paper. Let's take a look at the coffee portraits. Let's take a look at another piece of coffee portrait. I love drinking coffee in the morning and using the leftover to do my coffee portrait. Here's another one. Here are some of the coffee portraits. So the materials that I used is coffee, ink, and one calligraphy brush. So you can see I'm still using the traditional Lingnan style painting techniques and brush materials as such. However, one thing I learned as an artist is don't label yourself and don't be limited with these labels. Of course, labeling is important for us to create an art timeline and be included in art history. However, don't be too fixated in these terms, because when you look at traditional Lingnan style, a lot of times we're painting nature, such as birds, flowers, floral. But when you look at these portraits, they are modern face, looking into your soul, asking you, do we really need to be limited in this art age? No, we don't. The next section, which is our last section, is non-ink. I would like to show you my work in blue and nature's poem. Blue is a contemporary traditional photography series, also known as sunprint or blue photography. So sunprint is a photography process without the use of a camera. You are exposing your photography paper under sunlight. The title blue reflects my blue as an artist because less and less young viewers are appreciating or practicing traditional painting, and everyone moved on to contemporary work in the digital age. I would like to see more young viewers practice or appreciate traditional art again because there are so much potential. The blue also reflects our environmental problem, the blue and sadness in nature. So here you can see the color change during the developing process under sunlight. Here is a negative of real pressed flower against the negative. On the left, we see the negative. On the right, we see the real blue sunprint. Let's move on to the next project, Nature's Poem. Nature can't really talk to us verbally. However, it's whispering to us daily. This is a visual, non-verbal poems from nature, inspired by calligraphy and sounds in nature. So poem number 1, I titled it as Whisper of the Winter Branch. These poems, I actually have an upcoming show in Switzerland in 2022. So if you want to find out more, you can come to my website. I'll make some announcement later this year. The second poem I want to share with you, poem number 2, is titled Dance of the Ink Creatures. I want to share with you an artist interview with Works and Conversations magazine. It was a 3-hour interview, and one of the questions I clearly remember, which I found very interesting and profound. You lived in 3 different cultures, and that's going to be part of everything you do. This is something you've thought about? My answer is, I always think about that. What's my identity? And sometimes I can find it in my work because I realized that in my work, I don't have to define myself as a certain race or where I'm from. In my art, this is me. I speak 3 languages, Mandarin, Cantonese, and English. But if I put something in language, people would say, okay, you are Chinese, or you are British Chinese, or you are American Chinese. But no, I'm just who I am. And you can see it in my work, in my paintings. Last but not least, I want to share this with you by Dr. Seuss. Be who you are and say what you feel because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Culture and gender has no color, neither can we, or one be defined by color. So if you want to learn more about my work, you can find me on my website. It's anitayamwong.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at AnitaYanWong. I also have a YouTube channel if you want to learn more about Lingnan style Chinese painting. I do have a lot of tutorials there. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation today. And thank you again for having me here today.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, Anita, for that wonderful and insightful talk. It was wonderful. I have some exciting news. You will be able to experience Anita's amazing work for yourself at a very special exhibition right here at the International Art Museum of America coming up next year in January 2022. She will be highlighting our Light Space exhibition, so be on the lookout for that. You can follow that and everything else that's happening here at our museum. We have a lot of exciting things happening every single month that you can keep up with at iamasf.org or follow us on social media. All right, guys, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope to see you next month at our next I Am an Artist virtual talk.